All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Mellis, but you can call me Eli for short. And again, I'm going to say it again this week. Who is this incredibly patient, beautiful, and wonderful lady to my right? Who are you?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Dawn Ledgerwood, and I'm your girlfriend.
That's right. Your name is Dawn Ledgerwood, and you are my wonderful, amazing, patient girlfriend that's been dealing with so much of this YouTube drama garbage that we're going to be discussing here today. Right, baby?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely. But anyway, before we get to that, we've got to do the intro. So let's get right to that. Welcome back to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. This is episode number 58. And today, the topic is we're done with YouTube drama. One more time. Episode number 58 of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast is titled We're Done with YouTube Drama. Now, today, Dawn, we're talking about something that needed to be said, something that's been building, and something that a lot of people probably didn't expect. We're done with YouTube drama because at some point, you have to make a decision. Are you going to stay stuck in the noise or are you going to move forward? Because a lot of people, they get caught up in reacting, in responding, in going back and forth. And they never realize that the longer you stay in it, the more it controls you. So today, this isn't about them. This is about us. This is about control, focus, and moving forward the right way. But, as always, my lovely lady Dawn, before we get into all of this, I've got to ask you once again this week, how's everything been going the past week here for you regarding our wonderful, amazing organization, the GNA, which is short for Genuine Networking Association?
Well, it's been another interesting week. Some ups, some downs. And I'm not saying downs like bad, but just little hiccups, you know? Nothing that's going to hold us back. But yeah, it was an interesting week. And personally, we both had kind of stressful weeks. I won't get into any of that because it's our personal business. But yeah, I mean, we're still dealing with a lot of real life stuff in our own personal lives to
on top of YouTube.
To have to then deal with this drama it's tedious in our...
petty.
It's petty and tedious in our world.
It's childish. It's immature.
Yes.
Grown-ass 30, 40...
50
plus year old grown adults, primarily from a generation that I've been talking about for a while, the millennial generation. Now, let me make it very clear. Not all millennials are the typical stereotype regarding the entitlement, but we're dealing with a lot of them on YouTube. And it's really time to say, hey, we've had enough and we're moving forward. And if you don't respect our wishes, we're going to share with you how the GNA as an organization is going to handle that. And it's not the way that you think. This is not a threat. We're not here to threaten people. We're here to make you a promise that if you just don't let it go, we're going to take the right action that will force you to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sorry, babe. This topic really, really, really hits home with me.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to your beginning? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I think I cut you off. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no. It's just, like I said, I'm not diving deep into our own personal life. I'm just saying out there to the world that there are so many real life things going on in everybody's personal life that drama should be the least of what they want in their life. We have enough personal drama. We don't need to invite any other drama into our lives.
Right.
And that's what we're going to stop right now, today.
Yeah. But just because we stop doesn't mean they're going to stop. They're going to continue to try to antagonize us, to get reactions, to use us as their content, whether they're making money off of it or whether it's just their, YouTube outlet drama channel. There are creators on YouTube that we know that, we have somewhat of a friendship with, and they create drama content regularly, daily, for hours on end. And then they're not making any money doing that. But they come out here, and a lot of the times the things they say are highly exaggerated or taken way out of context or just flat out defamatory lies. And I've had
this
enough.
Isn't just for any one particular person out there. This is for a majority of people out there on YouTube.
Right. And we're not going to be mentioning any names. What we're going to be referring to it as is this one group or ecosystem or ecosphere, however you want to say it, this one group of people that's been surrounding me on YouTube for the last 8 years. And even people that we care for that have their own channels that technically, are not a part of the main drama group. They're a stem from it. And it all leads back to this same group of people. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely asinine. And listen, we can't control what other people do or how they want to behave, but if it's affecting us and they're directing things at us that are affecting us, let's just put it to you this way, in legal ways, these people are going to have options to stop, or there's going to be serious consequences legally. We're going to get to that in a little bit. And we felt it was important to put this out there to the people in podcast land, even though, we do have the video version on our main channel on YouTube. Our main channel is titled GNA Genuine Personal Development. And we also have the audio only version, on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, your favorite. iHeartRadio with a smile, and Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, and many others that are not as well known. We wanted to make you folks aware because I'll tell you this, the internet nowadays, along with the millennial generation, even my own lady Dawn, who initially, when we first met years ago, because she has a millennial daughter, was really thinking I was being overly highly critical of the millennial generation. But now you yourself are beginning to see other millennials behaving erratically, behaving so entitled, behaving in ways that grown adults don't behave, whether it's online or offline, right?
Yes.
Please.
Yes. And that generation is controversial, I'd say. I know several millennials that are absolutely perfect,
wonderful
human beings. They're doing things for themselves. They're not asking for any help. They're being proactive in their community. I think that's great. There are a handful of the bad ones.
Handful. It's about 55% of them.
I'm saying a handful in our lives. Let's say, okay. I don't invite 55% of drama.
No, I don't. But what I figured out is the millennial generation itself is not 100% entitled, but it's about 55% of them. It is the most entitled generation in the history ever.
If you just look online and you're looking at OnlyFans and you're looking at, what did we watch? The man whatever last night, where these young kids are literally using a hammer, these boys, using a hammer to shape their face into a more chiseled chin or whatnot. Do you remember what that was called?
I don't remember what it was called, but it's these young kids that are, at a young age, even before they're a legal adult at 18, I guess they're getting permission from their parents to have plastic surgery, to tap their face with a hammer to basically try to get the bone structure to change. They're doing things with their hair, which that part is fine, but they're doing it because they're focusing on this internet world where everybody seems to think that it's all about looks. And I understand looks matter to a certain extent, but there's far more to life and there's far more to content than just looks.
And what was interesting is they said that this came from the incel community. And, but you know what? I looked at a lot of these boys and I'm like, you know what? They're not that bad looking of young men, developing into men. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're cute kids and they don't need that. And that's the most disturbing. And that's Gen Z. If we want to be real, that started in Gen Z.
Well, I think the incels were around before that. Incels stand for involuntary celibate.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the more, the man, whatever. That came out in Gen Z.
I think it became more prominent during the Gen Z generation, but I believe it did start with the millennials because, they've been very internet focused as well. I think what happened to Gen Zers learned a lot of how not to be, with the millennials. They learned to not be as spoiled and entitled. So they're trying to make careers out of themselves at a young age. So they're working, but they're using the internet and they're using their looks to try to make a lot of money. And they're making a lot of money, right?
Oh, they're making a lot.
It's almost kind of like
OnlyFans.
It's almost kind of like these guys, these young boys, young men are doing what women have always done is, sex sells. They're basically trying to be the male version of what women were doing on OnlyFans or have been doing on OnlyFans and what women have done, to make money, using their looks.
Playboy.
Right.
Strippers.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to shame anybody, I've always said, this is kind of funny, but I always said when I was younger, I was always like happy with my boobs and the size and whatnot. But I said, I know one day I'm going to get older and they're going to fall. And I just think, a little shot on each side just to bring them back up. I don't want to augment them. I don't want to change the look.
Uh-huh.
I just want to bring them back up north a little.
Is there any way you can silence the vibrate? Because it does get picked up on the show. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal, but no worries. So in a few here, we're going to get into 10 questions I'm going to be asking Dawn, and then I'm going to be giving my responses. But before we get into that, I want to make something very, very clear here. Primarily, this is going out to the group of people that have been causing issues for us on YouTube. Primarily, it's been through massive commercial exploitation of our copyrighted content. People have been rebroadcasting us or, restreaming us at the same time as we go live. They restream our entire live streams. It affects us algorithmically. They're making money off of that. A lot of times they're deleting. If they do it on YouTube, they delete the stream once it ends. So that way we can't assert, our intellectual property rights or copyrights on them and file DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown notices. And then a lot of these people that have done it will also live stream on Rumble as a backup, and they're thinking that they're safe on Rumble because they're thinking that Rumble doesn't enforce copyrights as well as YouTube does. Now, that is true to a certain extent, but what I want to make very clear is that Rumble is definitely held to the same standard regarding, copyright infringement and repeat infringers, through U.S. copyright law. Even though they're based out of Canada, they have to adhere to copyright laws everywhere that their platform is available. So Canada, which is where they're based out of, Rumble's based out of Canada. U.S., they've got to have a designated U.S. Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA copyright agent is what they call them. And so they're absolutely required to handle copyright takedowns in the same way as every other platform, such as YouTube. Now, I'm going to make it very, very clear out here, and everyone else that's not involved in this, even anyone you tuning in, you can learn how to handle this if it happens to you. And if you are dealing with something like this and you need some good advice on how to handle it, feel free to reach out to me or us here. Elias Mellis at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. Our email is in the description section of our YouTube, version of this podcast. I think I do have our email in the podcast section. In case I don't, the link to the video version of our YouTube channel is there. And you click on that and go to the description section once you get to the YouTube video version of our podcast, and you'll see my email in the description section, Elias Mellis at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. I'd be willing to talk with anyone that's dealing with this for 15 to 30 minutes, absolutely free, no cost, because I'm very passionate about people being treated fairly. I'm very passionate about people not being commercially exploited or wrongfully exploited, or they have their copyrights violated constantly, and that's happening a lot. So I'll make it very clear here. And again, we're not mentioning any names. We're just mentioning we've had enough. And from this point on, we're going to be, for the most part, not feeding into anything. We're going to ignore these people, and we're going to be handling things legally, including there are some people that have been massively infringing us on Rumble. Rumble has been so at removing copyright takedowns. They have removed some of the takedowns I've requested. You have to do them manually by email, dmca@rumble.com. But others, they just never get to or just ignore. And so I have reached out to Rumble, and I have basically sent them a lot of information on several creators that have been massively infringing my copyright, our copyright here at the GNA, and more so personally, Elias Dimitri Mellis. I'm the owner of the content. And basically, if they don't take any action, then I'm just going to sue Rumble directly. And you folks out there in Drama Land can quote me all you want on that. It doesn't matter. I've said I'm going to sue a platform before. I haven't done it. But at this point right now, enough is enough. I'm done with all of this. I'm not joking. I don't care how much shit talk any of these people out there talk about it, even if they create live streams to talk about it. None of that matters. What matters is what happens legally. And at this point right now, I am done with dealing with spoiled, entitled millennials. And it's all millennials that are affecting us. There's a guy I'm suing in a circuit civil case. I'm not going to mention his name. He's the main culprit. He's commercially exploited me and defamed me for dollars for years. He's also being sued in a federal copyright case for massive copyright infringement. He's run 5 watch parties on me in the last few months. I've registered all 5 of those copyrights with the U.S. Copyright Office, also known as the U.S. Library of Congress. And he's going to be sued for statutory damages and willful infringement up to $150,000 per certificate, $750,000 total. He's going to get massively sued because he just won't stop. I've tried to ask him to stop over the years. I've tried to tell him, hey, just leave me alone, go away. And he's so damn entitled that he feels he has rights to my life. Now, he can talk about me all he wants, as long as he's not defaming me and as long as he's not violating my copyright. He can use small clips, or anyone can use small clips under fair use. But that's not what these people do. They run watch parties because that's what their audience wants. They want the real-time rebroadcast of our live streams, so that way the audience is there and they can emotionally engage the audience to donate to them. And that's what gets them the attention. That's why they do that. And that's why, I'm fighting this. And I'm not just fighting this through the platforms by filing takedowns anymore. They can file counter notifications and at that point they can get their videos reinstated if we don't sue them. At this point, I'm in progress. I've already filed one circuit civil lawsuit. I'm about to file within the next month or so a federal copyright lawsuit against the same person I'm suing civilly. And there are other people that are helping this person do the rebroadcast and violate us. And I'm going to be handling that as well with the platforms, whether it's Rumble, whether it's YouTube, wherever it's at, and if necessary, also another federal copyright lawsuit against other individuals, other civil lawsuits if necessary against other individuals, and even federal copyright lawsuits against platforms. YouTube has done it properly. It's Rumble. Rumble has been the issue, and these people are trying to weaponize Rumble as a way to continue doing what is harder to get away with on YouTube. So now we're coming after Rumble, and I love Rumble. Don't get me wrong; I have no issues with Rumble. If Rumble, I send them an email today as of this recording date, and we're actually recording on Monday today because Sunday when we usually record it got busy. We're recording this on Monday, April 27th. 2026. It'll be released throughout the entire podcast network on Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. Earlier today, as of the day of this recording, I sent a very serious email to Rumble, not only to their DMCA department, to their support department, and to their legal department as well. I am done. And I think you're done too. Please go ahead. I know right now you're just sitting there. Go ahead. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I believe that every platform should be responsible at some level for what is coming out on their site, and they should have like major IT teams that go through these, that have like a system that'll pick it up and show these people so that they could get on it right away. That would be in a perfect world.
I'm sure, baby, YouTube would lease out their content ID system to Rumble for a reasonable amount. I'm sure if Rumble wanted to get the same content ID system that YouTube has, which is practically bulletproof. YouTube, you use someone's content, it gets detected just like that.
Yeah.
On Rumble, they don't have that. And these creators that are out there, these entitled millennials that think they're entitled to use as much of somebody's, content, as long as they make commentary, they're taking advantage of that loophole, especially on Rumble. And the bottom line is, fair use is not just about commentary. That's one aspect. There are 4 factors to fair use, including the amount and substantiality used, okay? The effect of use on the marketplace and others. And all these entitled millennials say, oh, I'm doing commentary the entire way. That doesn't mean you can rebroadcast an entire live stream using the heart of the work. Whereas if your people watched my content on your channel, there'd be no need for them to come to mine. It's a substitution. It's a substitution of the original. And that's what's going to happen when we go to federal court with whoever I go to federal court with. Excuse me. When we go to court with whoever I go to court with, that's a big part of it. This is a substitution of the original. And they're going to, what's their defense going to be? Well, fair use. Doesn't matter how much you use, as long as we do commentary. That's not how it works. You'll find out in federal court. The big dog is coming to say hi to you.
Mm-hmm. That's enough.
All right, Bo.
He listens very well.
He does. So that's the point I want to make. It's very serious. And honestly, the more and more these people make content, even if they try to use this video here on our YouTube channel to make content off of it, the more and more they keep on pushing it, the more and more I'm going to escalate my legal actions. I'm not kidding. Laugh all you want. This is serious. I'm putting it out there. We've had enough. We've been dealing with other people as well, and we'll talk about that as we get into the show. That's not as bad because these people are not abusing our content, but they're just behaving in erratic ways, and we're not going to mention them by name, but we're going to talk about it because I've been getting emails and DMs, direct messages, instant messages through Messenger and other platforms, asking me, hey, why do you folks deal with these people, to come in your chat and to say these things and do these things? And we're going to get into all of that. But babe, is there anything else you want to mention during the monologue before we get right into these 10 questions? We'll go through the first 5, then you'll take a break, and then we'll come back for the last.
No, let's just start with questions.
Whew. My God, that was a whole lot, huh, babe? You can feel my tension.
Yeah. And people don't need to know, but we need to make this a quick show. So let's carry on with our questions.
Our show's only going to be an hour and a half today because Dawn has her therapy appointment.
Yes.
By phone. All right. And we're hard stop right at an hour and a half. Okay. So let's get to the 10 questions that I have here to ask Dawn, and then I'll give my brief responses. Number 1 is the foundation question, my lovely lady Dawn. Dawn, do you think most people even realize when something has run its course, or do they stay in it way too long? Great question, huh?
Yeah, it is. I think what I've seen on YouTube is that they want to continue it. They love it. But I have seen people step back and get out of the drama or get out of this realm of drama. They might be in their own, but still they've stepped away from this.
Yeah.
The people that keep going, they're never going to learn. Not
until they're held accountable.
They're held accountable. You're right.
Legally.
Yes. And so that's why we have to go this route. But, commentary is not playing the restream, pausing for 2 seconds to name call, and then going back
It's not substantial.
It's not substantial commentary.
It's not.
So that, if you all are thinking that that's okay, it's not. If you want to play or restream us, pause it and give your opinion about what we're saying. That's all well, but you have to keep it on, the up and up.
And also the amount along with the substantiality, meaning that if I'm live for 1 hour and they use the whole thing, or they use 75% or 50% or even 30% of it, that's still a lot. They should be focused on 5% or less of the content. If someone wants to do a live look-in for a minute or two, that's what TV stations do when they use another TV station's live coverage. Depending on the situation, first they'll get permission. Second, they'll give credit to the station. Let's say courtesy, KTVU, whatever.
Or Fox News.
Right, or Fox News or News Nation.
A lot of that is, when right. it goes on our local news, a lot of it that they do go
right
for national news, wars and all that, then they will go to CNN, News Nation, Fox News.
Right. And they all have an agreement on that. It's kind of like a known thing. They all help each other out, and they're not out there to harm other news stations from being profitable or having the same, fairness regarding competition. A lot of these people out there, and regarding my civil case, I was able to amend my complaint after our motion to dismiss hearing. I'm the plaintiff, the other person's the defendant. He filed a motion to dismiss and anti-slap, and the case survived. But the judge gave me the opportunity, gave me leave of court, meaning permission from the judge to amend the complaint. And I added another party to the complaint from this group, and I also added a couple of other causes of action. And those causes of action are civil conspiracy and common law unfair competition. And that's exactly what this is. Well, I mentioned that because I was saying these TV stations, they are all competing, but when they use each other's feeds temporarily, it's an understanding. They use a small amount. If they have to use more, they'll get permission, and they'll do it the right way, and they'll give credit to that station as well properly.
Can I give a good example of what we do?
Yeah.
We'll sit down and we'll watch Chris Cuomo.
Right.
We'll watch it with the remote in our hand on the pause button because we wait and we listen and then we pause and we'll give our, like just here in our living room, we'll give our thoughts and then we go back to playing. And that's the way it should be done. If you're going to report on somebody else's or review somebody else's stream or news stream or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the proper way. It's not you watch 30 seconds, boom, you pause. What a fucking idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
Insulting is technically usually not substantial commentary enough to qualify as fair use. That's what these people are going to find out
and
in
like
federal
what we're
court.
doing, we'll be like, okay, well, we don't really agree with what Chris is saying. Why don't we? And that's how we talk about it. We don't say Chris is a fucking idiot this week.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Does Chris Cuomo take one person's video, for example, and play it the entire show? What he does is he has 5-6 segments. He plays a few small clips leading into each segment and then brings on panelists to have a discussion.
Yes.
And that is the proper way to, be able to defend yourself against fair use if you're ever sued on it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. But see, the people that are on TV, the newscasters, all of that stuff, they already know. These are unwritten rules when they, join this type of field of work. They know that using extensive content can get them fired.
Are you telling me these people don't know on YouTube?
Oh, they know, but they don't have anybody holding them responsible like a News Nation to hold Chris responsible for what he says.
And they've never been sued.
No.
They've never been sued, right? And until you go to court and get a court order, there's nothing that's going to stop these entitled millennials out there that are doing this. And I say entitled millennials because every single person that's violated me happens to be a millennial.
I'm going to correct you on that because there is another person included in this case.
That's true. There is one more.
Almost 60 years old.
She's a Gen Xer. Okay. Fair enough. Fair point right there. You're absolutely right about that. The majority, though, has been the millennial generation. That's been causing these issues.
And that's why I want to give some of these, I call them kids because they're like my kids' age. I want to give these young adults the chance to prove themselves and not just put them in a category or a box.
Oh, I agree. I'm not trying to categorize anyone, but the stereotype is true. It absolutely is true.
And it disappoints and shames the Gen X generation that they're now acting the same way as the millennials.
So common law unfair competition, that's these people on YouTube, what they're doing to myself and with some other creators that use large portions of live streams or rebroadcast live streams as watch party format, that's unfair competition. Mm-hmm. And you can get sued for that. There are torts for that, and that's part of my case, my civil case, not only against the main YouTuber I've already been in court with for the last 8 months, but the other person I've added to the case as well. So anyway, all right, question number 2. Current position, babe. Dawn, from your perspective, where do you think we are right now with everything that's been going on?
I think we're in a good spot. I think we have a good idea of what's going on and how to handle it appropriately. You know what he has to do.
All right, hold on. Let me stop it. Let me pause this. So Dawn has to take care of the dog for a second, real quick. And I'm going to go off camera, but I'm going to start to share I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here for a second. I'm going to share my thoughts, where we're at right now with everything that's been going on. We're in a pretty good place. We're in a pretty good place to turn this around. It has cost us a lot, primarily me. I'm the president and founder and owner of the GNA. And, I've been trying to generate more revenue to move the organization forward. And what's been happening on YouTube has affected us tremendously from being able to generate that revenue. But, we've got a civil case, currently right now. It involves two people that have been two of the biggest culprits that have affected us. And the main person is going to be also sued in federal copyright court. And then there are some other people within that ecosystem that I'm going to be either dealing with possibly in a legal environment, or I'm going to be dealing with platforms in a legal environment. I'm not kidding. Are you ready to go back?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, we're good there.
Yes.
But what were you going to say from your perspective? Where do you think we are right now with everything that's been going on? I was kind of filling in while you
were
taking care of the dog.
I think we're in a good place right now. I think you have a handle on what's going on, and then what
is that called? A grip?
A grip on life, baby.
Getting a grip.
Okay, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, go ahead. I can do whatever I want.
No, but do you know what that looked like?
I know what that looks like, but that's not what I was that's not what I was intending.
I understand.
You highlighted it. That's beautiful. All right, funny joke. Continue, baby.
No, I feel that we're in a good position right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have all your ducks in a row. Even with the little hiccups that have been thrown at us, it's not even like a total hiccup. It's like, because you've already thought about that situation prior to it even coming out. And that's what I find amazing about him is, I could do that in my real life, but to do that about other people and how they're going to react is just crazy.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, I just mean that you absolutely can, what they're going to do before they ever do it. And you don't even have to say it. They're just going to do it. And you're always ahead of them. You
know how I know?
It's repetitive behavior from them.
It's their content engine. It's the way they make their money.
Yeah.
I know what they need to keep doing to keep making the amount of money and getting the amount of attention their way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If Eli stopped...
It's predictable every single time.
If Eli stopped streaming, they would have nothing.
They're out of business.
Yeah. Nothing to talk about.
Yep.
Nothing to restream. We would absolutely kill the idea or the, the idea of them continuing to make money off of Eli's name for the rest of their lives. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like poof, vanished.
That's why I sued these people in the civil case. That's why there's at least one federal case coming, possibly a second one, and then possibly a third one. It could be involving Rumble. Listen, I hope I don't have to sue Rumble. And I know people are going to talk about Eli's going to sue Rumble. If I need to, I will.
And Eli is not sue happy.
And I'll take on Rumble pro se with their attorneys because I have so much already. And I know how to represent myself. And all it's going to cost me is a $400 filing fee and maybe $10 for a summons.
Yeah. And these people are, they're unhappy because they're like, oh, Eli is going to sue everybody. Oh, he's going to sue me for saying this. No, he's not sue happy.
Nope, I'm not.
Do you think he wants to be in court the rest of his life? No, he wants to put a stop at it right now. And let us all go forward with what our purposes are on YouTube. If your purpose is literally to defame any other YouTuber, well, I'm sorry. That's not going to get you through the pearly gates, going out there. And like he says, he will talk to you 15 to 30 minutes for no cost. Then you can make that decision if his advice is worthy to what you need. And then you can donate. So this is how we don't just expect you to pay for it.
Right.
Why? It's like, take us out for a test drive like you would a car before you invest, right? Listen to what we have to say, If you agree with it, great, we'll go forward. If not, we'll not. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Okay. Let's go to number 3, babe. Perception versus reality. We talked about perception versus reality on some recent previous streams, but here's another question regarding that. So, Dawn, do you think people watching all of this are actually understanding what's happening, or are they just seeing surface level reactions?
Surface level reactions. A lot of these people don't understand anything. I'm sorry, anything about court, anything about procedure. They're just following the narrative of the people that they want to.
They see it as entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
That's
they
what
think
it is.
This
it's
is Judge
entertainment
Judy.
At the expense of my pocketbook and my copyright and my reputation. At the expense of my reputation through defamation for dollars. At the expense of my content and me not being able to grow organically because of what they're doing, right? And other things. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
It's basically... It's surface level reactions through the audience that's paying these creators that are doing it because they're miserable. A lot of them are millennials. Some of them are Gen Xers. There are a bunch of Gen Xers in the audience. The creators within this group of people that have been coming at us and violating us, and we've been talking about here. But a lot of them are just very miserable, and they use this as entertainment to get their mind off of things they don't want to address about themselves or within themselves.
I think a lot,
right?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think a lot of these people are ashamed of where they are in life. They're in their 40s and they can't hold a job. They can't, take any responsibility on because they rely on $5 and $10 donations and they rely on this whole community and almost intimidate them to pay for this, or you'll be outed from the group, whatever. We don't put pressure on anybody. We don't expect any donations. Anything we get, much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Oh, of course.
But we don't do like this other creator and be like, once we get to $100 goal, I'll release this. Like,
right. Like releasing,
you.
A service of process video of me getting served at the park when this guy tried to get a stalking order on me. The guy I'm suing in a civil case, we were at the park and we got served by the same guy that served me another lawsuit that another lady filed that now is also the second defendant in the same case against the other guy I was just talking about. This has gone really, really deep. Like these people in the state of Florida is where this civil case is at. The two defendants now in my civil case and then a third lady all live in Florida. All three of them over the last couple of years tried to get a Florida stalking injunction on me, and two of them, to the two women, they failed to appear at the hearing and the case was dismissed. And then the main guy I'm suing, the male creator, the main culprit of this whole thing, he showed up and basically his case was dismissed after 20 minutes for insufficient evidence. Like these people have really gone above and beyond to keep the focus on me and keep controversy around me and keep painting me as a criminal, which I'm not. I don't have any criminal history. I've never even had a speeding ticket or a parking ticket. Like I'm the most square guy on the planet. I say I'm square. Listen, if you think I'm boring because I'm square because I follow the law and I try to be the best possible citizen possible. Have I said some nasty insults reacting at times? Well, who hasn't? We all
Does that
have.
make you a bad citizen?
Huh?
No, that doesn't make you a bad citizen.
No. But basically, they're painting me a certain way because they know that creates constant controversy and it keeps this one audience coming around to donate thousands of dollars each month. And if they can make thousands of dollars each month for just defaming me, right? That's easy money. That's easy money. I'm done with that. That's why we're in court, and that's why we're here to say we're done with the drama, because that's what it is. And the bottom line is, We could ignore them and they still would never stop. We could ignore them, create our own content, which we have now for the most part. In the past, we've responded to some of the things they've said because we wanted to correct the record. But at this point, we're just ignoring them. And they're going to say we're not ignoring them on this, but I don't care. We're talking in general. We can talk about it. And I don't care if they talk, whatever. But even ignoring them, they would continue doing it because they have nothing without us. They would continue making this stuff up. And at this point right now, I'm going to do my very best to win all these cases and get injunctions to stop the behavior. It's not an injunction to stop speech. It's not a gag order. They can talk about us all they want. They just can't defame us, and they can't commercially exploit us, and they cannot violate our copyright. That is it. This is not about speech. They're trying to make it about, oh, you're trying to silence our freedom of speech, Eli. Nope. And you know I'm not. You'll find out in court. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just listening. Go on.
All right. Anything else you want to mention regarding perception versus reality?
No, we got to move it, baby.
Okay. Number 4, pressure points. What do you think creates the pressure that keeps people stuck in these situations?
Like us stuck or the other side?
Keeps people stuck in general. What do you think creates the pressure that keeps people stuck in these situations? You can use us as an example.
Well, okay, the other side, why they're stuck is because this is their only means of making money. So they're stuck in the sense that they have to do this to even have lunch money. As far as us, our situation is so frustrating. It really is. Because we are not out there to put out the drama, and we just get sucked into it. And that almost makes me feel like we're at a standstill, which is why we're doing this show today, and we're done with the drama. I mean, we're going to say...
You too.
Oh, gosh. I said we.
No, I know. I'm proud of you because,
yes.
Because initially, like, you were even going to bat for some people that, have been dramatic, but they're decent people offline, but online they're different, right? You're saying right now you're done with drama, period.
And I'm not going to be mean to anybody.
Neither am I.
Bottom line. But I'm not going to engage in drama. And if you bring it into the chat, I'm just going to ignore it, and Eli's going to ignore it, and nobody's going to, interact with you. So we just kindly ask you just to keep it out of our chat, have your opinions, but if you could say them in a polite way to not insult anybody, that's what we welcome. We want ideas. We want to hear people's opinions. We want to have that back and forth, but a legit back and forth, not name calling. Period.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of these people are stuck in the situation, babe, because this is what keeps their mind off of what they want to keep their mind off of, which is, maybe they're lonely and single. Maybe they're dealing with some other issues behind the scenes with family or other aspects. So they come out on YouTube and they use it as an outlet, and they use it as a way to entertain themselves and entertain their audience. Like, there are some people that, are a part of our group that create a lot of drama, and that stem from the main drama group that we've been trying to get away from. And those people, they don't do it for the money, which the thing is, I can understand somebody doing it for the money to a certain extent. I don't condone anyone doing it, including the people doing it to us. But at least they're doing it to try to make money, which is wrong, which is why we're in court. But the other people are not even making money. Like the people that... Go ahead.
I'm just going to say that, okay, because I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't have to mention that person's
I'm not going to
name.
mention it. This individual or group of individuals are very good at the fact that if they are not being attacked, they don't put your name in their mouth. They have no reason to. Mm-hmm. So, but if they feel attacked, then that's when they're going to react. So that's why I really urge people to think about what they're going to say. Think especially in the chat, because people do not get where you're coming from through words on a chat. You know, all I say is, you know, most of you are very beautiful people with beautiful souls. And I don't want to see you guys getting wrapped up in this drama. Some of you do very good content outside of the drama, and I just wish y'all get back to that. And this goes for a lot of people out there, not just my one that I'm talking about, but it's a lot of people. A lot of people flip-flop on each other. And that's another thing. There's no loyalty. Because if you say one thing to that person, then they get
triggered.
Yeah, they get triggered, then you get triggered, and then boom, y'all don't like each other.
Now, real quick, because we got to move on to number 5, then take a break. We'll be done. We'll be done 5 minutes for your appointment.
5 minutes, yay!
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, we've had a lot going on, but this podcast, we're being consistent.
Okay, go.
Okay, so, dang, I think I forgot what I was going to say.
Question 5.
Anyway, let's just go to question 5. I forgot what I was going to say. When it comes to stepping away, Dawn, what do you think actually matters most? Strategic moves is number 5. When it comes to stepping away, what do you think actually matters most?
Your pride. When you step away from something, you're doing something that is going to benefit you in the process. So I would be proud of myself. Will feel like I am goal oriented and following through. And so, yeah, if you stick on one path and you're able to achieve that, absolutely, I'd feel pride. Period.
Okay. Yeah. When it comes to stepping away, for me personally, what matters the most is strength, dignity, pride. But strength is most important because if you can do your best to ignore stuff like this, that's the best thing. And it's the most productive thing. Now, if people are constantly smearing your name and their audience is bigger than yours, and the reason why their audience is bigger than yours is because they're using your content along with smearing your name and defaming you, then you don't really have a choice but to step in and correct the record for a little while like I have. But the bottom line is you do that, then like I did that we were doing that the past few months.
Yeah.
And now we have some new people that have been coming around the channel under unidentifiable accounts, but they're talking with myself and you privately behind the scenes. We're slowly building this behind the scenes. But because of the situation of how this was being done to us, we really didn't have a choice but to tackle it head on. But now, what more can we say? We put it out there. There are enough videos out there stating what happened. We don't want to be repetitive. Now this is about saying, hey, we've had enough. We know it's not going to stop. We know none of these people within this group are going to stop at all. Even the people that we care for and the people that we don't really care for. We don't wish any harm upon them, but even, we say we don't care for them because we just don't want to be a part of them, right? But for this entire group right now, they're not going to stop, but we're just going to continue to handle things legally. This is all going to I'm telling you, I have learned how to represent myself pro se in state courts and federal court. It's the same, similar concept, just a little bit more stricter in federal court. I've learned to file complaints and notices and oppositions and objections and responses and how to file exhibits. I've learned how to do that in the proper attorney format very quickly. I also know it's going to cost about $400 for each case. And I will find the $400 to take anyone to court that, of course, I'm not just going to sue anyone. Someone that is massively affecting me, like massive infringement or massive commercial exploitation based off of defamatory statements. That's what I'm going to focus on. If people are insulting me in a chat, that's not a big deal. If people do a live stream and use a minute or two of my content and insult me, That's not a big deal. And even if somebody were to defame me one time and never do it again, that's not something that would even probably be actionable. But if you repeat something like these people do for years, especially within the statute of limitations, which is typically 2 years for defamation and 3 years for copyright, if you continue to do it, that's when you're going to end up in court. That's the bottom line. All right. So anything else for number 5, babe?
No.
Okay. So let me turn off the camera here right now. Dawn's going to step away and take a quick break, and then we're going to come back for another 30 minutes and get through the last 5 questions. Great show so far, my love. While Dawn is gone, let me remind you all that if you are listening to us on the audio-only podcast networks such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible. Amazon has music and Audible, 2 different ways to listen to our podcast or any other podcast out there. We're also on YouTube's Music, and on YouTube's Music, you can watch or listen to the podcast because obviously YouTube Music is owned by YouTube, which is owned by Google. So, they automatically integrate the video into the audio, which is fantastic. And we're also on many of the other not as popular or not as well known audio only podcast networks. If you're listening to us audio only, you'd like to check out the video version of our podcast, go below in the description section of wherever you're listening to this audio only. Halfway down, you'll see the link to that week's video. It's the same thing. We basically rip the audio from the video. When you click that link, you'll be redirected to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Subscribe, bang the bell, and select the notification so you don't miss anything. Also, while you're there, go below in that description section. Couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live, if not every day, almost every day. Lately, we've been a bit busy with many things, so sometimes I'll take a day or 2 off each week, sometimes 3 days, but I typically try to go live at least 5 or 6 times a week, 7 days a week if possible, sometimes multiple times a day, sometimes from the studio here, like we record these streams or these videos, we run streams, same format. Sometimes Don and I do On the Couch with Don and Eli. Sometimes we do walking. Sometimes I do Walking with Purpose streams. I typically do those almost every day. Sometimes Don will join me. Sometimes we do Driving with Purpose streams when we're on the road for a long drive, and Don is typically with me on those. Ready?
Yeah.
That was quick.
Well,
so yeah,
make it quick.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development as well. Subscribe, bang the bell, and select the notification so you don't miss anything. And that's the way to keep in touch with us. And you can come and chat. And it doesn't cost you anything. You have the option to donate there. We are monetized on both channels. We do have super chats enabled and super thanks on the live stream replays and pre-recorded videos. But that's up to you. We have Cash App, PayPal. We have all that. Come and just hang out, ask questions. Don't worry about the money. If you feel inclined to donate, like Don said earlier, after a while you feel you're getting some great value and we've been of great help to you, then at that point you can make that decision. But anyway, all right, let's get back to it because we got to wrap this up in exactly 31 minutes. That'll be like 1:10, 1:11. All right, number 6, my lovely lady Dawn, discipline versus reaction. So Dawn, do you think it is harder to stay disciplined or harder to stop reacting?
Both.
Okay, please explain.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
Because you have to remain disciplined to not react. So I think it's hard for both situations, because when somebody's coming at you, it's really hard to not acknowledge that. It's a natural human reaction to defend yourself. So it's really, you have to have a lot of discipline to not react.
You nailed it.
Thank you.
It's hard to not react to something that people typically react to naturally.
Without discipline.
Without discipline. And that's exactly what creators like the guy I'm suing, they prey on that. They know people naturally and instinctively react to when anyone's coming at them. But when you do that regarding YouTube drama content, it keeps the cycle going, right?
Mhm.
Whether you intend to do it that way or not. And these people like to call it the Streisand effect, the Barbara Streisand effect, right? That's funny. The Streisand effect has been reversed, even though they won't admit it. It has been reversed. But anyway, so yeah, it is hard to stay disciplined, and it's hard to stop reacting. If I had to choose, which one is harder to do, if I had to choose one, it's harder to stop reacting. You can stay disciplined in most things in life, but when people say nasty things about you, we all have had a natural tendency, online or offline, to be able to respond. And again, that's what these creators that create this drama do. They prey on the vulnerabilities of people's natural reactions, natural human reactions. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are not wrong at all.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, my love?
No, let's go 7.
Well, we don't want to end too soon. We got to end at exactly 1 hour and 30.
I would like to have a little more time to use the restroom, more than 4 minutes. So let's carry on.
Okay. But remember, you also have that little 5-minute buffer. Anyway, nowhere. You have to say that here. Okay. So anyway, number 7, momentum shift, my love. Dawn, do you feel like this is a real turning point or just another phase? For us here at the GNA.
I do feel it's a turning point. It's just a very long turning point.
Very slow turning point.
Yes. Yeah, but that's how I feel. Like, we have things going in our direction. You're getting things situated to hold them accountable.
Right.
So, yeah, I feel, that's how I feel.
Yeah. I'm going to keep it real and say it is a turning point. It's been a turning point for the last 8 months. The only way this was ever going to change is going legal. First, on the main person that's been running this group, the main person where everyone stems from within this group, was never going to stop because he's made more money than anyone in the group, primarily commercially exploiting me. Now, he has exploited other creators' content, but I'd say about 75 to 80%, if not more, of his revenue has come off of my name and likeness in some capacity.
Yeah. He's fine.
And so, I really feel that the turning point was the lawsuits. I've heard these people say, including this person say, that absent a court order, I'm not going to change a thing. Like, I will comply with any court order from the court. He's emailed me saying that. So
yeah,
in essence,
but until he gets that order, he won't comply.
Right. In essence, he's not going to choose to be a good human being and just be understanding and say, hey, dude, okay, enough. I'm going to go my way. You go your way. I won't use your content anymore. I won't talk about you, whatever. Instead of them choosing to do that, he's saying the only way I'm going to stop doing any of that is with a court order.
Yeah, he's doubling down.
Well, that's just who he is, right?
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of these people are. So the real turning point in some cases is you got to go to court, civil court, federal court, and it's not expensive, overly expensive. It's affordable to file the case. What costs the money is the attorneys. And the thing is, I figured out how to represent myself. I'm a good speaker. I can handle myself, but not everyone can do that. But if you want some motivation and to learn how to do these things on your own, reach out to me if you're in a situation and you need to sue someone for a similar situation, but you can't afford the attorney. Reach out to me, Elias Mellis at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. We could talk for 15 or 30 minutes by phone, and I can share with you some resources and get you on the right track to potentially represent yourself pro se. You have the right to represent yourself pro se, in any case, as long as you're not, suing someone as the owner of an LLC or incorporation or any entity. Entities have to have an attorney. If you're suing as an individual, different story. So register your copyright certificates on your own name, not your business. And anything that you sue for needs to be about your own personal self, not your business. All right. Ready for number 8, my love? Number 8, the audience role. And this is, you look at her eyes rolling already. I love you. Double high five. Double high five. So, Dawn, how much do you think the audience plays into all of this, whether people admit it or not?
Huge, huge, huge. The more people you have as an audience, the more it encourages that bad behavior. You know, I mean, we've seen it when somebody is acting a total fool and bringing some other creator down. I mean, we've seen it with all the big creators out there, you know, trying to take Mr. Beast down or.
Oh yeah, they're jealous.
Yeah, they're jealous. It's one of these things that they take somebody who's regulated and actually doing it the right way. And it's like they have no respect for doing it the right way. That's the problem. They want to cut every corner that they can to get to be as successful with what they want to be successful with. Period.
Yeah. The audience is everything. Bottom line, here's why. Because without the audience, there's no money that goes to the creator. But it's more than just money. What the audience does for the creator, besides donate to them or pay them money for services or products, or if they're monetized, the ad revenue and all that, what the audience does is validate those creators that what they're doing is good, even if it's not. And for these high conflict drama creators that create content which is beyond all decency, and I don't care if they try to frame it as parody or satire. None of this crap has been parody or satire when it comes to me, even though in some cases the guy that I'm suing has tried to frame it in parody style. And that's just not going to fly in court. He'll find out about that at some point down the road. But the bottom line is that it's an ego thing primarily. It's an ego thing for the creator when the audience is there, donates money to them, and then says, you're doing the right thing. Keep going. We support you on this, right? And for people that support defamatory, hateful, high conflict, just very harmful, intentionally harmful content, for people that support that, they really need to dig deep, because no normal, decent human being would ever support something like that. This, the audience in those high conflict drama groups are high conflict drama people themselves. They're people that are living their life the same way as the content creator that's living their life, and also at the same time creating their content in that high conflict way. Anything else you want to add to that, my lovely Lady Dawn? Okay, we are at 1 hour and 8 minutes, almost 1 hour and 9 minutes. All right, so question number 9. So, Dawn, and take your time because we still have like 20 minutes. We need to fill this in.
Okay.
What do you think people are getting completely wrong about stepping away from drama?
Well, they're not doing it. I mean, that's what's wrong. They're not stepping away from the drama. I mean, I don't know how much more of that I can explain. As long as you stay in that circle, there's no way of unless you make the decision to step out. Let
me go into deeper detail. This might spark up something more. What do you think they fear from getting away from the drama?
They fear the ridicule. They feel they're going to be like outed,
chastised from the content creator or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Then you'll be called a phony. Anything you've said to give to them will be a lie.
They'll look into you. They'll share your deepest, darkest secrets, right?
Yes. And that's why I plead to everybody out there. Do not send messages to anybody that's going to in any way they could change the words that you're saying.
Not only that, a lot of these creators, what they'll do is they'll love bomb these people behind the scenes. They'll connect like in a Discord group or something like that. They'll love bomb these people, and then they'll ask them certain things, and then these people will give them something very private, and then those creators will then weaponize that as blackmail down the road once these people decide that, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. It's too harmful, hateful. It's gotten way out of hand, way too much, right? And so at that point, they'll try to blackmail the person to keep them around. And if that person doesn't come around, then they'll just put that stuff out there and attack that person as their content. And I've seen this happen throughout the group of people that surrounded us, and we never wanted to be a part of it, but they've just surrounded us. They're latched onto us. It's just, you've seen it. It's just absolutely asinine, right?
Yes.
But I think that is the main thing there, babe. I think there are a lot of people that have left groups like this, and they have been publicly attacked. They have been publicly ridiculed. Some of them, I'm not going to get into great detail, but some of them were severely abused and humiliated, and a lot of that content was even removed by YouTube. Like a lot of these creators that create this type of content, they're also dealing with a lot of platform enforcement. They're dealing with a lot of hateful and abusive content, community guideline violations, cyberbullying and harassment. They're dealing with a lot of copyright issues because they're using a lot of people's name and likeness and their content in general in large amounts, watch party style, right? It's just, it's a very abusive environment. And when people try to get away from that abuse, the creator or creators are trying to get away from, a lot of times further the abuse, because at that point they're feeling like they're being abandoned, which is leading me to believe a lot of these creators that create drama content have abandonment issues. Would you think that's a fair?
I think that's a fair assessment.
Go ahead. Can you talk about that for a few? We have a little more time.
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's abandonment issues. That's why these creators hold on to their followers so close, and if they do anything to upset that creator, they get that abandonment issue. They're like, why are you going against me? You're leaving me. And that's what causes the anger, resentment, and the attack, period.
Yeah. And I really do think, even though a lot of people have told me in the past from that group that a lot of this is fake instigated drama. There is a lot of fake instigated drama within these high conflict groups and content creators, but a lot of it is based off of who they really are, how they actually see themselves, how they actually handle things realistically, right?
Yeah.
And so, it's just it's so surreal. It's so surreal because even if you never want to be a part of one of these groups, if they find out about you and they just want to start talking about you, they have the right to do that. But if they take it further and do what they did to me, defame, harass, commercially exploit, at that point, you've got to take action and stand up for yourself. Because once one of these groups latch onto you and they see that you're highly profitable to their audience and their audience keeps coming back primarily only when they're talking about you, they're going to keep repeating that pattern until you go to court and get a court order to stop them. That's it. That's the only way it's going to stop.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's go ahead and get to the last one. We're at 1 hour and 14 minutes, about to turn 1 hour and 15 minutes, 15 minutes left. Okay. Okay, number 10, my love, and this is the power question for a strong close. Dawn, babe, what do you think separates someone who stays stuck in drama from someone who moves past it completely?
I think it has to do with a lot of your own self-love and coming to a point in your life where you don't care about what people say, what people do. You know who you are. You know your true self. And your mistakes don't define you. So when they try to use your mistakes against who you currently are, it doesn't bother me anymore. I've learned from my mistakes. I've made myself a better person. And I'm proud of who I am at this point in my life. So nothing anybody can say or do is going to change that. And I had to get to that point. It was not an instant thing. So at this point in my life, I'm totally happy with what's going on in my life. I'm completely content daily. So what y'all say, I don't even hear. So good luck. Period.
Okay. Well said. Well said. I think what you were saying, in other words, is something I've been saying for the longest time. And I'll keep saying it every day if I have to. The only opinion of yourself that really matters is your own.
Yeah.
You have to get that in your head. If you can truly get that in your head, understand it, and live it, right? I'm not saying that nothing will ever bother you again, because you can completely understand it like I do. And some things will still get to me, but far fewer things will get to you and have been getting to me lately, because I truly understand that the only opinion of myself that really matters is my own. You see, I don't care about what people say about me on the internet. As long as they're doing it lawfully, I don't care what they say. They can insult me all they want. They can go tell me to F off. But if they're trying to paint me as a criminal, if they're making false factual statements saying that, oh, I embezzled money, which I never did, I sexually harassed someone, which I never did, if they start to paint those narratives to keep their audience around and keep the high conflict going so they can keep making money, okay, that is where it crosses the line. And you got to do something about it, especially if they've created a constant, continuous cycle of a content engine around it. That's why I'm in court, right? But the only opinion that really matters about yourself is your own.
Yeah.
Right? You want to add to that, or
no?
Now, what do I think separates someone who stays stuck in drama from someone who moves past it completely before we get to the ending here? I think you nailed it. It's how you see yourself. It's self-love. It's self-respect. It's knowing your self-worth. For a second, share your thoughts about that. Self-worth, babe. And
self-worth
I've
is
struggled
the key.
with it. You've struggled with it. Have you struggled with your self-worth?
Oh, yeah. And, that's the thing, is going through therapy. That's also helped tremendously. And I recommend that to anybody out there that's struggling. You get to a point where you realize you cannot stay in the past. Because if you do, the people you surround yourself with stay in that past with you. They don't have the ability to move on and further the relationship in a positive way. So I just, that's what I think. I'm just pretty simple on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-awareness, discipline, and direction. Because once you know where you're going, you stop entertaining what's holding you back.
I don't think anymore about going backwards. I only think about going forwards. You know how some people say, you'll take 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. I don't take those steps back. I keep moving forward.
let me ask you one last thing here before I do the outro and before we go real quick. We're not mentioning names, but you're going to know who I'm talking about. Somebody that creates a lot of drama. They're a part of our group. They're actually a moderator on our channel. You don't have to mention their name, but that particular person, it's a female, and she's friends with another male, and I don't have any problems with either one of them, except when they're behaving in just egregious ways, just crazy, dramatic ways.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So there was a situation where there was a little misunderstanding between what I had told you and then what you were saying on your show.
Okay.
My only recommendation is that instead of carrying on about it and feeding into her questions, all you could have said was, all right, damn, I guess I misunderstood. Let's carry on.
Oh, I did.
No, you didn't.
Well, hold on. You didn't let me finish. I did until she hit below the belt and started questioning the fact that she said I have no job and this and that. And she has no idea. And these people have no idea what we do throughout the days, where our money comes from. They don't have to know that. So the bottom line is she hit below the belt because she misunderstood what happened. And, I misunderstood what you had said. And we could have easily corrected that without having that attack below the belt. That was unnecessary. So that's what pissed me off. And it'll piss me off every time. And anyone will be pissed off naturally on that.
Yes. But we talk about control. We talk about not feeding in and not being triggered. So we want to take this as a lesson and not do it again. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. If people think, when I was on a live stream the other day where that happened, if they think I got triggered, whatever. I wasn't triggered. I was standing up for myself and I was doing it live and in real time. And that's how I felt. And you got the real me. If that to you is, oh, he got triggered again and he's really funny and he, he's not boring when he's triggered. I don't think anyone is boring when they're triggered. Right? This drama group seems to think that unless something bad is happening, everything else is boring, babe. Everything else is boring to these people unless it's something bad, like a triggering. Our job is to come out here on YouTube and trigger Eli all day, every day, because if not, then he's boring and we can't capitalize off him as well. But anyway, enough of that. We are at 1 hour and 22 minutes. We definitely need to start wrapping this up, babe. So, any final thoughts before I share mine here, and then we're going to end the show? Right.
No, just be true to yourself. Remember your own self-worth and don't feed into the negativity that people say about you. That's all, honey.
Okay. So, before the music starts, I've got a little closing segment here, closing statement. Babe, what I really think this comes down to is knowing when something no longer serves you, because YouTube drama, it is easy to get pulled into. It is easy to stay in, but it is not where growth happens. Growth happens when you step away, when you refocus, when you take control of your direction again. A lot of people, they stay in cycles because it's familiar, right?
Yes.
Because it gets attention, because it feels like momentum, but it is not real progress. Real progress is quiet, it is focused, and it is intentional. We're not engaging, we're not reacting, and we're not going backwards. We're moving
forward
with purpose. And if you're watching or listening right now, ask yourself, what are you holding on to? Right, babe?
Yeah.
What are you holding on to? And just let it go. What are you holding on to that you already know you need to let go of? Because once you do, everything changes. And you know what, babe? Just like I always say at the end of each show,
What? Oh, be good to each other?
Well, not just that.
Oh, what were you going at? I'm so sorry.
Don't take life
For granted.
for granted.
Yes.
Don't take life for granted. Life is short.
Enjoy every day.
Enjoy every moment that you have. Enjoy every moment that you have with the elders in your family or friends. Don't take life for granted. All right. And with that being said, baby, it is time to start wrapping this up. All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This has been episode number 58. And the title, once again, was We're Done with YouTube Drama. One more time, episode number 58 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast has been titled We're Done with
Drama.
YouTube Drama. We're done with YouTube Drama. All right. One more time before we get out of here and Dawn goes to her appointment. If you are listening to us on the audio-only podcast networks such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite,
iHeartRadio. One more time. iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio 3 times with a smile. That's where I listen to the podcast at. After I watch the video, I check out the audio on iHeartRadio because my lady loves it the best. We're also on Amazon's Audible. We're also on YouTube's Music, audio and video, not only on YouTube, but YouTube Music as well has audio only or audio and video. And also, we're on many other of the unknown or not as popular audio-only podcast networks. If you listen to us audio-only, please go up in the description about halfway down. You'll see the link to the video version, which will redirect you back to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. When you go over there, please subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications so you don't miss anything. Then go below in that description section, a couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live, if not every day, almost every day. Many different formats there, so subscribe with us there, bang the bell, and select all notifications. With that being said, time to go, babe. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, babe, be good to each other.